All right, we're live. So, second class on series of relationships and skills and how to create more love. So, well, first of all, I'm so happy you're coming. It's a type of classes that, I just come back from a seminar, Shabbaton for couples with Emet. First, we had 110 couples, 95% Bukharian, 3% Persian, 2% Ashkenaz. Anyway, it was very nice. A lot of things to learn about, and it's interesting. It's usually the woman who has to drag the guy to that type of thing, for obvious reasons, because that's the thing. Actually, the theme I want to start with. Why is it always the woman who has to drag the guy to work on marriage, right? And the reason I think I understand it is because I'm a guy myself, and guys don't like to hear that there's a problem. So when most people hear, when most guys hear, like, from the rabbi or whatever, or from friends, or so how is your marriage? No problem. It's good. It's okay. Yeah, it's good. And you ask the wife, say, no, I don't know what to do with him. He's not changing, right? And the obvious reason is because we guys, we have a strong ego. We're like, we don't like to feel like we fail, especially if you're already in a relationship and you're already in a marriage. Like, I'm a man. I'm taking care of my girl. I know what to do. You say that there's a problem in my marriage, like, makes you feel like, hey, I'm failing. And that's the biggest misconception, because it's not that you're failing. That's what marriage is. Marriage is starting to deal with the problem that exists in the couples. So to say that there's no problem in our couples, then why you get married? Well, what's the first big rule in marriage? Is to know that there's going to be problems. It's not like, oh, I'm going to get married, it's going to be Hollywood party forever. Like, love, they lived happy ever after. But that's the illusion of this world. We guys would like to feel we're in charge, we're in control, and as soon as we feel like someone is saying, oh, there's a problem, or you should go to the therapist or the marriage counselor or go speak to the rabbi. Why? Like, I don't need. It makes us feel weak. Like, we're not. Or what the man craves the most is respect. The way a man feels the most love is by feeling respect from his wife. The wife is different. Obviously she wants respect, but the main thing is to feel that she's chosen. You want me. That's what the woman wants. I want to know you want me every day, every second, right? So it's a challenge. We guys, we don't like to feel vulnerable. Guys feel that their relationship is threatened when they start thinking, oh, that maybe is a problem. But problems are not problems. I heard one time a mathematician or someone smart say that problems are opportunities for potential resolutions. Meaning that when you have a problem, it's here to be solved. Problems are here to be solved. It's not that you really have a problem. No, we have things that we need to deal with, and it's much more powerful than that. Those problems are the very fabric in your marriage that's going to make you feel love. All the things that you're going to deal with, all the little problem things, that because you're going to resolve them, it's going to bring more love. That's why even in a relationship with Hashem says, oh, you fail me, you sin against me, but now you try to come back. You're trying to come back after your mistake, after hurting me. I love you even more than before. That's God said. I love you even more than before. And that's really how we should look at it. If stand is a fight, but we try to make it up, we try to fix it, we should like, hey, the fact that we're trying to fix it, it means we really love each other. Or instead of saying, oh, we're fighting so much that fight, we're not meant for each other. It's just the opposite. That's the Yetzer Hara. The Yetzer Hara is trying to make us feel that because the problem is not the right one. It's the first illusion. Because before, when we know each other at the beginning, whether we get married or not, well, no, like dating. So for after it depends on the couple. But after 3 or 6 months, we start fighting crazy, right? Why? Because you start to really get to know the other. You realize, like, hey, that's not so much the person I used to know. Right? We change, and the high, right? The testosterone that are on high at the beginning, they vanish, and then we are left with the raw, with the real person, the real me, and there's a lot of defects in the real me. But that's fine, because if I didn't have defects, then I don't have to come in this world. The real fact that I have problems, or that I have, it's not problems, the real fact that I have to work on myself, to become a more refined human being is what makes me be alive. That's what makes me be able to have a relationship and each other can show each other love like that. What's the greatest love? Someone who loves perfection? I love you because you're perfect? Or I love you despite your imperfection? What shows greater love? Someone who says, I love you, the whole of you, even with your perfect imperfections, right? I love to use that line. It's just nice. It's the best part of the song. But it is that your imperfections are perfect for me, especially if you're my potential soulmate. Means those are the things that together we're going to work on and succeed. But the key, what's the key really, is that both partners want to work at it. And that requires some humility, right? From the guys first. Women is usually always more. Some exception, but it requires some humility from the guy, understanding, hey, it's not that we have a problem in our couple, it's just how love works. We have to work at it in order to make the love better and fix it. So we have to be aware of that. We have to feel that, going to a rabbi or a therapist or a marriage counselor, or it's the best thing in the world. Today we're in a generation where we're not taught what we need to know. We're even taught the wrong thing. So we're brainwashed all because our past culture, our parents, grandparents, or because of the world we live in through the movies, or because of the friends, influences, or the peers, and they don't teach us the right way. Oh, you want to know let's do what most people do. Oh, what do most people do? They get divorced. Oh, okay, I guess let's get divorced. Right, 67% of divorce. So obviously you have to swim against the current. We live in a society where we were swimming in the sea that has many currents, and if you don't swim backstream, you're going to be taken by the current. And how do you fight that? By having the humility and the conviction that working on my marriage, that's what makes you a man. That's what makes you a woman. That's the first part that makes you. That's where your marriage is successful. If you decide when you get married that we're going to work every on our marriage through tapes, we're going to speak to the rabbis once a month, we're going to learn about it, learn books together, then you won't be part of those 67%. Because the 60% are people who don't want to change, the people who think they think like in the movies, no strings attached, or they think it just, if there's a problem, okay, I guess it's not the right one. That's easy. That's disposable society. America, plastic. Eat on a plate, right? Even in Russia, they just threw the glass, not the plate. That's a French joke. Okay, for Russians. That's really the key, to have the desire to change the desire, and it's not the desire to change the other, because this doesn't work. The other changes only when the other sees that the other changed. I don't know if you follow me, right? If I'm changing, the other one is not going to want to change me, and the other one is going to want to change itself.
So, like, to be an example for the other person?
Yeah, inspiration, and especially it's a change that brings more love. Because by the change, I'm showing more love, right? So that's the first big thing. Never think that you're there. I've been married 12 years, and there's not 1 year where I stopped. I didn't work on my marriage. And I have a great marriage. Baruch Hashem. Beautiful French girl, and very nice, very refined. But we don't want to be average. Hi darling, how are you? It's nice, It's that's not what real love is. We're in a society where we settle for less, sometimes because we're scared. And it's actually the speech I spoke at the conference this past Shabbat was all about the fact that we forgot about passion. We forgot about real intense love. The Torah, God describes the relationship between Him and the Jewish people as something passionate. Who created passion? God, the concept of passion. Fiery love. God said, this is how I want to be with you. So intense that our souls leave our body like a Mount Sinai and attached to God. Intense love. That's what God wants in our relationship. Do we serve God like that? With intense love and passion? Who works on His Judaism? Right? Judaism is not about following rules. It's about taking those tools and making it a fiery love. Who runs to shul in the morning?
Nobody.
Right? To pray. Or who's excited? Yes, Shabbat. Or whatever. Not everybody. Right?
But it feels just like a bunch of rules.
It feels because we don't... Yeah, marriage also is a bunch of rules.
So why
You get married, she cooks, you bring money for home, he helps fix the house a little bit, she takes care of the kids at night. It can be just a bunch of rules. Or it can be passion. Now with passion comes sometimes tension, but it's worth it. Oh, yeah. So we have a lot of So one of the first things to understand, and that is that there is a lot of people who forget about that. Our relationship with God is supposed to be passionate. Our Judaism is supposed to be passionate, and the relationship with our spouse is supposed to be passionate. But for us, after a year, sometimes less, sometimes a bit more, that's it. We go to the routine, and marriage becomes just a bunch of rules and laws. And the fire love that existed at the beginning disappears. Yeah, because at the beginning it was fresh, it was new, testosterone went on a high, right? Like everything. And my kids, doesn't matter what toy I buy. They play with it for a week, they're like in heaven, and after so I buy a $2 thing or a $300 thing, it's the same thing.
Why couldn't it just be forever? Why is it that we have to go through this process?
Because this is what's gonna make love be love. If love is just going in a bark, you seen bark?
Bark?
Bark? In the water, in the boat. How's it?
A boat.
A little boat. No, in French it's a bark. Sometimes I think Americans steal all our words. Anyway, so you leave a little boat and it's flowing the flow. No, it's not sailing. Oh, you know what? We're gonna go sailing. It's gonna be nice, and you just go with the current. That's not fun. You have to pull the mat and to put the sail and then wig against the wind and use the wind. Now we are sailing, right? Sailing. Okay, so now we are sailing. It's like driving. You have those. So we have it's like those people they are driving, and you have the co-pilot. It's like, I don't want to be a co-pilot my whole life. I want to drive myself, and that's why the co-pilot is cheaper. You pay for it to go on a racetrack, because I love racing. So you go on the racetrack, and it's to be a co-pilot it's $100 only. But if you want to drive the Ferrari, it's $300. So why is there a difference of price? Because just being next to you, okay, you're enjoying, and you might even die, but you didn't even enjoy. You didn't even drive, touch anything. You're just like, 60 degrees left. No, you want to drive. You want to control. You want to experience it. And that's marriage. You have to be in control of love. At the beginning, it's a gift from God, because otherwise we'll never get married. we start fighting from the first day, and that's it, right? No, we need those chemicals,
Sort of like
infatuation.
Sort of like Adam and Eve in Gan Eden.
Yeah, exactly. No, after 5 minutes they split apart already. She's already with a snake. Those women. But where was the man? Where was the guy?
That's the question.
Right, that's the question, right?
Right.
How can you let your wife with a snake? It's dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
Don't let the wife with a snake.
So we shouldn't listen to them, right?
No. That's right. Don't listen to the snake. So it's important to realize that, and that's come to understand what real love is. Chesed. What the rule in Kabbalah, the power of love is based on chesed. What's chesed? Chesed, people say loving kindness, love, but chesed means expansion. It's something that expands. So Abraham was giving to everybody. We saw God giving to everybody. So Abraham did chesed. Chesed is not, I'm walking and the poor person is coming to me. So come to me, so I give him. No. Chesed means I'm going out of my way to give it to him. Chesed is when it's not natural. It's you're going out of your way. You're looking. That's why Abraham. What did Abraham do? The heat was on right outside, and he went outside his tent looking at any guest, right? And that's not natural. And he was in pain from the Brit Milah. So now you don't need to have a Brit Milah each time you want to do a chesed, right? You don't have to be in pain like that. But it's showing you the extreme level of chesed. So love, what's love in your marriage? It's not when, everything is comfortable. She does everything I ask. He does everything I ask. Oh, it's love. No. Well, maybe he does it because it's comfortable. Yeah, he holds the door. He always holds the door. He holds the door for the dog. Oh, he holds the door for me. Oh, he holds the door for the dog too. I'm a Frenchman. I always hold the dog. The dog. I hold the dog too. Yeah, but I always hold the door. So now, he's holding the door for me. No, that's not chesed. The chesed will be, he carries me up to his car, to my car, whatever, right? Something that is not the natural way. Something that goes beyond my natural thing. So what does it mean? When I show the other that I'm doing something that is not comfortable for me, and it bothers me. It bothers me that my wife, she wants to speak for 30 minutes straight. So it's not. I say it's not comfortable. It's difficult for me. It's too hard. Like half hour, right? But what? I'm going out of my comfort zone. You're going out of my comfort zone. Your comfort zone. You're expanding your character traits. You're becoming better. You're showing that you really care. If you only do things that are comfortable, does that mean you care? No, it doesn't mean you care. It means you care about yourself. It's comfortable. Yeah, I do it. Not comfortable. Forget about it. Right? So chesed is understanding when my wife sees a cockroach, and she starts screaming, and it looks ridiculous, right? You say, it's just a cockroach. Are you crying? Yeah, baby or what? Right? It's understanding, trying to go out of your comfort zone and try to understand her world and try to understand that, yeah, she's right. If it was a lion, you wouldn't be scared? If for you it's a lion, for her it's a cockroach, okay, you can compare. But you're different people. It's different. But you went out of your comfort zone and you respected her feelings that you don't understand. That's chesed. You don't understand her? Go out of your comfort zone. Get to understand. Then you're expanding who you are. Expanding your understanding of how she is. You know, one of the greatest lessons I learned this year was a Rabbi, Sheffield was speaking about it. No, not just him. A few people. Whatever. And they all said something very powerful. When you choose a person to get married to, that's a new world. It's a new world. That woman or that man is different than anybody else. You know what's normal now? Is that person. Yeah, in the past you have different experiences. You dated this person, you dated this person, you had this experience, you remember this. but those were different worlds. Now you're in a new world. You can't get stuck on the past, because the past doesn't help you for the future. It's worse. You start comparing, right? As soon as you compare, you already you know you're wrong. Oh, I remember she used to say that. She was much nicer. I remember he used to do that. Oh, that's nice. You don't understand. It's two different worlds. Yeah, that person did that, but there was a whole other package that you didn't like, and that's why it didn't work. Now you deal with a new world. You enter a new relationship. That person is different than anybody else in the world. I can prove it to you. Nobody has the same face. Maybe you find a twin, exactly Siamese twins or whatever, then you can say it's the same. But right, you don't marry twins. Actually, there's Siamese. I know one time I saw what? The Siam. How do you call it?
Siamese.
Siamese. So there were Siamese who both got married, and they lived like two separate life. So it's amazing. And so each one was allowing the other to be who she married at some point, and they shared like that. They allowed the other to be married with the other, and they were sharing. It's like not sharing a husband, but they're sharing allowing the other to be in love with that person, but they were attached. So very powerful. It's like saying you're Siamese with your wife and God, so to speak. Whatever. Okay. When I speak about love, I'm on a high because it's my favorite topic. But it's very important. Your spouse or your future spouse, the person you choose, that's the new normal. Oh, before, the girl I dated, she was scared of mice. Mice? I did it. Mice. But that was her world. Now I'm dealing with cockroaches. Okay? No more mice. Forget about the mice. Now it's cockroaches. That's her world. That's the world you have to deal with. And that's the world you have to embrace. So real love is opening a space and showing that you care about your world. I care about your world. And there's nothing else. Because every world is so different. And not for you. That's the one you choose. So you have to learn about the other. It's all about learning who the other is. And forget about the past. Forget about the rest. Because the rest, it's not going to... So the more you learn about the person, the more you learn about the other, the more you're going to love that person. And the more you love that person, the more you're going to forget about the previous experiences and the previous love you had, because any relationship you have affects you on some level. You always remember different things from the past, but the more you become one with that person, the more you learn about that person, the more the love for that person is going to increase, and the more you're going to, all the experience of the past are going to disappear or help if you need help from that. Any questions? Any questions so far?
Those previous experiences with other people, do they serve as a function in the marriage, in forgetting about them?
The same as a function. I would say they can help you become any relationship you have help you deal with certain character traits, right? So whatever was there before that push you to work on yourself, those are lessons you can learn, because in these areas, the areas you failed, you need the areas where you hurt the other, and that's the part that you want to take with you so that you don't reproduce the same thing, you don't make the same mistake. And most of the time it's sensitivity. For me, this is the most important thing in marriage. This is the first class, for those who didn't see it. The first class was all about sensitivity. Why are women so sensitive, so emotional, right? It's the greatest gift in the world. I realize that if you don't know how to be sensitive, if you don't know how to be emotional, you will never understand your power as a human being. Right? Like we said last time, you were created. Why are you created? Not in order to become one with God. the reason you have a spouse is to learn to be one with God. If you don't know how to be sensitive to someone else, you don't understand the relationship you can have with God. You don't understand that absolutely every action you do, thought, emotions, and actions have an impact. And we are very dangerous beings. We are very dangerous beings, and as Jews, we need a constant reminder of that. A Jew means I'm here, I have the power to change the world. Right? This is my mantra when I wake up. Wake up today, I'm going to change the world. But if you change the world, that means you have a lot of power. So you need a reminder, constant reminder of how much power you have, how much damage you can do, how much good you can do. And that's your spouse. You say one word, you can destroy the person with one word. And sometimes it's more painful to die emotionally than physically. A knife in the stomach can be less painful than some words you say to your spouse. So we have to. She would prefer the knife in the stomach than the words that she heard, straight into the heart, right?
I have another question.
Yeah.
Like with the whole stories of Tzaddikim, Moses, and all these people, a lot of them like kind of forgot about their wives.
No. It's just that people don't. It seems like that, but it's just not well explained. They didn't. There were a lot of things that need to be worked on, but when we are speaking about very high level of relationships, remember that one of the things we learned about Abraham, that when the angels came to tell Abraham about Lot, right? The three angels about Lot and about that his wife is going to become pregnant. They asked Abraham, "Where's your wife?" Right?
No, she's not my wife.
What?
He said she was not my wife. He lied that she was her
No, not that.
Okay.
When the angels come to him, when he's looking for a guest, the
Okay.
angels come. They say, "Where's your wife?" She's in the tent. So it's very strange, like, yes. Hey, where's your wife? You don't ask questions like that. What do you want with my wife? You don't say hi before. No, they were. I mean, they were speaking about angels talking to Abraham. First of all, how old was Abraham? He was 99 years old. 1990. Yeah, something like that. I don't remember exactly right now. So he was very old. And what the rabbi says, or they explain that he was to teach Abraham about the greatness of Sarah, her behavior. They wanted to say something that is going on his level, right? At 90 years old, plus he will realize of, wow, my wife is in the tent, whatever that means. Means she was part of the home. She's his Beit HaMikdash, so to speak. So the wife is the house. So to make him love her more. When 90 years old, you still need to be reminded how great your spouse is. Yeah, because at 90 years old, you'll still be working on your marriage, my friend. Marriage is all about working on yourself in order to get close to God. That's why you have to be married your whole life, because it's a whole life of trying to become better and closer. So love is infinite. We never stop working. So when we have someone say, hey, you should learn this book. Oh, I don't need it. Come to the seminar on marriage. So we're okay. You don't understand what marriage is about. Sorry, not understanding. So we have to be aware. We have to be sensitive and be aware of that.
So I'm saying you're never going to be able to learn what love is with your spouse?
No, what I'm saying is that love never ceases and can always get better and always increase. And the love will die if you continue expand. You want to expand love. Love is chesed. How does chesed work? Expansion. The moment you stop expanding, dies. It's not chesed anymore. So to experience energy, chesed, love, passion, it has to be constantly moving. Chesed. And that's what marriage. That's the work, so to speak. But it's working on love. I'm split into two so that it's easier to